Hey everybody, it's Dr. Rich Schevener here with Get Writ Live, a special episode. I am here with Louie Manuba, who is one of the founders and editors with Environment from A to Zine. Now, you might remember that Louie and his co-editor, Jess Taylor, were scheduled for a live stream chat a few weeks ago. But as I mentioned on the live stream last week, I think it was on March 2nd, I actually felt ill during the interview with Jess. And so during that time, I said I would reschedule this with them. And again, I was so sorry about that, Louis, doing that, just kind of disappearing on you all. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to chat with you for a bit about this zine and what you have coming up. You've been doing some workshops and so forth. And then you're kind of on the cusp of taking in submissions, as I understand, right?
That's
Excellent.
correct. That's correct. Also, on behalf of me, Jess, I know Jess isn't here today because she has other obligations. So I'm here in front of you guys. So yeah, we are on the stage of pretty much getting submissions for our zine, and that is going to be we set our deadline for that around March 18th, 2022. However, if you are interested on submitting something about anything related to the environment, whether it be like environmental cause or issues or other aspects about the environment that you feel that you're connected to, feel free to just send it our way and get in contact with us. And in front of you here is our website, and yeah, this is where you will be able to get in contact with us. Our email is down below, and also our social media page. And obviously, we didn't. So the submission deadline for March 18th isn't actually like a set date because we as students, like, we have other obligations, whether it be like school related or just like working in general, other obligations. So just get in contact with us if you want to submit something, and then we will work with you to fix an amenable date for your zine submission.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, so this is part of a humanities capstone project, as I understand, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Excellent. And what a great idea. I was wondering kind of what prompted you to pursue the zine project list. So I think I started to ask just that on the stream before. And then, like I said, we had to cancel. But maybe in your words, Louis, can you tell me like what prompted you to want to work on a project like this?
So originally, I wanted to work by myself, and I wanted to do something about the engagement of youth culture, and as well as the engagement of youth culture with the environment. And then when Jess in our class, when she was talking about her project, and I saw it on the e-class forum, she also wanted to do something about like environmentally like related capstone project. And then I got in contact with her, and then that's pretty much where it started. And but for me, for the longest time, ever since ever since I was a kid, and well, throughout my years in middle school and high school, I was always like connected with the environment in a way, and I was always involved with science fairs and stuff like that, and just helping around my community about like community development, and as well as conserving nature in general. So yeah, I've been a part of so for the longest time I've been involved with aspects of the environment.
Wow, I didn't realize you two found that kind of collaboration through just some informal conversations in class and stuff. So super neat. You're able to make it all work out. Now, since we originally planned on talking, and then we're doing this now. You've had a couple workshops with the public and participants. Can you tell us how those have gone and things that you've kind of maybe learned about how people feel about the environment, writing,
Yeah.
or the environment and writing together, that kind of relationship?
So our workshop, we've had 3 workshops so far. We're gonna have our last one this Friday. So we have 4 workshops in total, and it's been well received so far. The workshops, the past 3 workshops have been really good. We've been seeing the same familiar faces every week, every Friday. And what really stuck out to me is that during our activities, so I set up like two activities. So the first is just asking a general question about the workshop, like the theme related to the workshop. So the first workshop's theme was all about now, I guess, like what are people's awareness about the environment, like what kind of stuff is going on in terms of environmental issues or just other aspects about the environment. And then what really stuck out to me is that every workshop and every activity that I ask our workshop participants, they know something about the question, like they know how to answer it, and because I feel like in a way we're all like we have like this innate feeling or connection towards the environment, and I feel like that's why our participants they're able to engage with the questions and answer the questions so well, because there's just that that innateness, that natural feeling about our connection to the environment and the world around us.
Yeah, and what kind of ideas are they bringing for submission? I mean, because as we've sort of seen, like environmental writing can span in a lot of different ways. You can have that really like objective scientific writing, poetry, video. I know you're accepting kind of a range of submissions. Have you had those conversations with some contributors so
Yeah.
far?
Yeah, for sure. So in the workshops, we've talked about how we're open to like we're accepting a broad range of submissions. We're not just like limiting it to photography, writing, video, stuff like that. You can submit a whole range of works to be put into the zine. So we're not necessarily like just narrowing down like submission, what we want for submissions and stuff like that.
Great. And I think one thing that's really cool about this is it's sort of it has that independent spirit, because it's not with Excalibur, it's which is independent as well, but it's just a bit different than what we see with like traditional newspapers and magazines. I was kind of wondering what your impression is generally of zine culture and just kind of producing a zine, as opposed to like something that's maybe along the lines of traditional media.
So the first impression I have about like zine culture, for me personally, like for a longest time, I knew that zines were just like a small, I guess, like circulation of self-published work by a group of individuals. And now that me and Jess are kind of like we've gotten this far into our project, I'm kind of like reflecting that, oh, yes, we're like independent in a way, but like other people can do this, the stuff that we are doing, like students and then younger people and older people, like other people can do the stuff that we're doing in terms of what we're doing with our project. And one of the things that we're trying to get to our workshop participants is that yes, like we're doing this, and then you can also do this, like create like a movement on your own and stuff like that. So that's kind of like how I see the like how I relate it to the zine in terms of like what I know and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I love that these are free as well for folks to show up. And I know at least and one of the reasons we started talking about this was sort of according with those anti-racist publishing practices and editorial workflows that writing studies and a lot of other scholars have been calling for out there. And so thinking about how workshops that are free for contributors, it seems like a great way to maybe, motivate or inspire potential contributors, rather than saying like, we're going to put the gates up and you have to submit and then you'll be judged and assessed. Like there's actually nice conversations, it seems like they're having with you. So again, it's more just a comment than anything. I think it's a really cool project that you're doing. Do you do it on Fridays then, right? Is that what I've understood, that for the most part?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just have another thing to add to what you just said.
Mhm.
So yeah, that in a way is it relates to that too, and also like there's an aspect of storytelling. So yeah, the workshops and contributing to the zine, they're free, and also you'll get obviously you get credited for it. And me and Jess talked about how people who contribute to the zine we're gonna have like a separate page about the contributors, like just their basic contact info, like their social media accounts, or ways that the public can contact our zine contributors. So we have that page dedicated for them, and the role of storytelling as well is really important with our project, because this is what the youth or the younger generation, this is what they think about what is really going on in terms of the world, the environment around us.
Yeah, and it also seems like too, if people that show up to the workshop don't submit, at least they're having these conversations,
Mm-hmm.
right? And thinking about like, okay, what actually goes into producing and submitting to a zine, or, and if I don't do it until a year later, at least I've got that knowledge that I've been working
Exactly.
from. Yeah. So after the workshops, what's next for the project? You've got submissions, and yeah, I guess what's on your what's in the pipeline, so to say.
So our goal is like after our workshop this Friday, and after we get all the submissions, we're hoping to put it all together. Obviously, since we are creating an environmental awareness, we're gonna create the zine online, a digital version, so that way we're reducing and cutting back, our possible contribution towards environmental emissions and stuff like that. So yeah, our, I guess that's our ultimate goal, is to actually uh, release the zine into the public's eyes, and where we'll go from there, I don't know, but that's really just the big picture right now.
Well, that is excellent. I really hope folks show up. And of course, this will be online before the workshop. So, all the best with that. I have one last question for you, Louie. And this is kind of the big why, right? I always like to ask folks with editors, why should they contribute stories for environment from A to Zine?
Um, so I asked myself this question too, and then the more I asked myself this question, and then when I was writing, and or not writing, but like coming up with lesson plans for the workshop, for our 4 workshops, I kept thinking to I kept asking myself, so why does this all matter? Well, it matters because um, we as young people, we have that we can kind of create the world we live in, and in a way we are in charge for the cultivation and preservation of our own realities. And and I remember I remember someone saying to me, just live in a moment. But I thought about that moment and asked myself, what are moments good for if we can't defend those moments in the future? So storytelling and our project, our workshops, and the zine combined, uh, we're creating this. Not only is it a vision of art, and also an act of telling other people's stories about what these are the things that these are the things that they know, and these are the things that needs to be illuminated for the public's eyes. So that's really is important. And uh, those so thinking back on those moments, uh, those realities, the cultivation of it and the preservation of it, that is the reason why uh, really is this workshop and our project, is really important for me, for myself, because the younger generation is obviously, we're responsible for our own future, and contributing to and showing up to the workshop is one way to start, um, in a way.
Right. Yeah, that's great. I mean, so you're essentially you're telling stories for the future, and I'm excited to see what comes out the next few months. So as it comes together, feel free to share it with us, and yeah, we'll put it out in the department, and hopefully on future streams we'll have to have you back again in one that isn't canceled in the middle of it. So,
Yeah.
well, Louie, it's been great talking with you and catching up about this, and yeah, we'll look out. We'll put links in the description, stuff like that, that folks can think about if they're available for the workshop, and then just staying tuned for the actual publication and so forth. So thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you for having me and hosting me, and I'm glad to share with you and share with everyone what it is me and Jess are really trying to do here, and in terms of like just starting a small movement, but it really is a small movement, but it means more than that, because at the end of our workshops, we're trying to inspire other people to come up with their own ideas, and then tell them that we're independent, you're independent, so you have that autonomy, so you can create something by yourself, and get other people to engage in something meaningful, something that represents a meaningful representation about yourself, and other aspects about, it could be the environment or it could be about other stuff. So yeah.